I'm an animal. Straight up. A beast. A force to be reckoned with. Whether you like me, whether you don't. I am you, and you are me. Hand in hand, fighting an invisible enemy. Who are the enemy of the animals? Man. Mankind. Are you going to force me to become an animal? For real. I've told people 1,000 times not to let the ponytail fool you. I have warned you. I have reckoned with the Lord. I have waited upon this man who does not pay very well at all. In fact, he doesn't do anything for men who tell the word of the Lord. What can I do? I'm just one person. You can become an animal. I'm not going to start a TikTok challenge right now. I'm going to start a challenge among mankind. I need for every person that lives on the street to write out and tell their story of homelessness and hand it out signed with as much information about you as you can to as many people as you can. If you can get flyers, just put them on people's cars. In any neighborhood, so people have a picture of you and who you were and your story of how you became homeless. Because some man came on Fox and Friends this morning and declared that all homeless people are raving drug addicts, that we weren't forced out by the rich man's greed. Now, I'm going to tell you my story of how I went from living on Sunset Boulevard next to the Whiskey A Go-Go to being homeless 7 times. I'll do it in about a minute or less. My brother, I bought a condo in Aurora, Colorado, and my brother, who was on the HOA, decided to throw me out with a paid-off condo because of the housing crash. I got it for really cheap. Dirt cheap, in fact. And the rich man don't like that. So the HOA hit me with a violation right when I walked in the door, then another, then another, then another. And the next thing you know, I no longer had a condo and my BMW got taken away. Because of an HOA. They become your enemy. They made me homeless. So when Aurora, Colorado blew up, that's because of me. Because I was out there yelling and fucking screaming, if I can't live inside this motherfucker with a paid off fucking condo and a paid off brand new BMW, you guys fucked me over till I lost everything. All my shit I lost because of them fuckers in HOA in Aurora, Colorado, who came to my aid. But I'm a drug addict. I didn't do drugs when I lived in Los Angeles at all. I lived on the corner of Sunset and San Vicente, dated the finest babes. Now you want to throw me in an institution because I smoke pot and I can't afford to live in a fucking $2,000 a month apartment on fucking 40-year-old fucking money? Wow. You guys have gone the fuck insane. The rich have declared war on the poor. You made us poor. You made us homeless. Now you're blaming our homelessness on us, not your fucking greed. Why don't we do an amortization or however the fuck you would say something like that, of what costs used to be when your daddy was coming up and when they were coming up. Why don't you just admit that you billionaires are ripping us off? Here's the challenge. I want every homeless person to document. If you can, write a book. Keep it short. 1 page or 2 page. 1 page or 2 page. If you can do it on TikTok, do it as a TikTok challenge. If you do it on X, Instagram, every person that's homeless, tell everybody your story, how you became homeless, exactly who you effed you over, exactly what happened. If your rent went up 4% every year, like they made me raise in West Hollywood. I was an apartment manager in Hollywood for 20 years. Let me tell you what the rich did to the poor. When I moved in on the corner of Sunset and San Vicente where Axel and Slash lived, they didn't live there anymore. They became rock stars. They were the smart guys. Well, I moved into Axel and Slash's building as the manager. And then they told me they had another building down the street. They needed to manage 50 units. So I was managing a 21 and a 50 unit building in Hollywood and one in Culver City. And the first thing I did is walked in there and said, listen, I'm Mr. Bitchin'. Clearly, I'm me. And the great thing about that is you're still always going to be you. So how am I going to run a fucking building when everybody I know can't stand me because I'm banging soap opera stars and Playboy Playmates and I'm in the hottest fucking band in Hollywood and there's some dickhead whose ass crack is showing when they're under somebody's sink? How do I navigate this life of being cool in a world full of nerds? What am I going to do here? So I had to figure out a way to uncool myself. So I put my hair up under a ponytail and act like an asshole, like Mr. fucking Joe fucking Schmo, construction dick, and just walked around the building and just did my job. And I didn't do drugs in Hollywood at all. I never did drugs when I lived in California for 20 fucking years because I OD'd on meth because I tried it one time when I shouldn't have on the way to that fuckhole Seattle. That dickhead place that they now want to round up white people while still leaving all the illegals in this country subsidized in your house with your job, meaning we are being replaced. Then the replacement theory is then proven correct. When you start taking out Americans before illegals, you better make sure they're all gone and they're all off assistance before you take any Americans anywhere. All Americans, here's your warning. The rich have declared war against the poor. The people that put you on the street, the people that evicted you, now want to evict you even further. This has gone too far. You're not going to be allowed to take Americans anywhere. We can't even get a hotel. But I'm going to tell you quickly about what we did in Seattle to renters. And it's partially my fault because I was trying to be a good employee. And where am I now? I got $0. 550 out of 550 pay pigs were all liars. Not one person has ever helped me, and TikTok completely shut me off, and X has been ripping me off for years. I started out on the corner of Sunset and San Vicente with that building right there on the other side of the Whiskey A Go-Go, that big white ugly building right there on the corner. And I started out, I had $8.25 rent. They told me to try to get more. So I got like $9.50, then $10.50, $11.50. When I moved out 9 years later, I had rent at $18.75. So in 10 years, I had rent up $1,000. They gave everybody a 4-year increase on the dot. Corporate in Texas made me call every other building every 2 months, doing a market survey, finding out what their rents were. If their rents were higher and we got a vacancy, I was required to charge what that building is up the street. They would make me make sure that these market surveys were correct by people from the company calling in pretending to be renters. So they would find out if you were calling people back, doing your job. If you weren't renting apartments, the next person that you'd need to rent an apartment for would be yourself, because you'd be out on the street if you were a manager in Hollywood. And after all the shit I did for them, what did I get? Nothing. They threw me and my tenants under the bus for what? For money. So now you want to put me somewhere because I smoke weed and I don't have a place and I can't afford your shit? TikTok challenge. All homeless people, let's hear your stories. The truth, please. Pole shift alert. We're on it.